Okay guys, Doug Walker here, and you maybe have watched the bum review, maybe you haven't, but now this is my real review, my real opinion on Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1. And I'm just going to put it out there right now, this is most likely going to be a Noah Antweiler style rant. So it's probably going to be very long, and for the longest time I never understood how he could speak at such lengths about something. I mean, those videos run like over an hour half the time, and I love them. I really love watching him. I love hearing his opinion. He gets so passionate about it. And that's the key word. It's the passion about it. It has to be something that really fills you with something, and it's either going to be extreme love or extreme hate. I extremely hated this movie. God, I fucking hated this movie. And here's the thing. Okay. You gotta go over what I thought of the other movies, of course. The first Twilight, I know what you're thinking. Oh, I probably hated those movies and stuff. No! I freaking love these movies. These are beautifully bad films. They are hilarious. I love them. Okay, the first film, you know, where they meet for the first time. Pretentious girl has no problems. Really over-the-top, pale vampire that everybody in the world could tell is a vampire, except for our main character, of course, is nothing like a vampire, is totally full of himself, totally pretentious, totally just, but somehow every girl's dream because he stares off and looks, you know, sad, and oh, I want him. Love it, absolutely love it. Second one, the vampire boy leaves. Oh, you know, that fop was fun. But we still got Bella, and she's a bitch, and she's insane, and she's crazy. Love it. You get this boy, Jacob, who's this werewolf. Boy, she has some luck-picking boys. And he's the only decent character that goes through these movies. He is a good boy. He is a good... He makes me hard, man. This is a nice kid. He is supportive. He makes sacrifices. He is like the perfect guy, and yet somehow this dumbass broad keeps wanting the vampire. So, love it. Absolutely love it. Third one comes along. The third one I've discussed with people, I think was actually trying to be a good movie and maybe had a possibly good director, but, you know, it takes a few shots at itself, you know, does he ever wear a shirt or something like that, and some of the conversations were almost kind of smart, you know, but, it's still the writing, it's still Stephenie Meyer, you can't save it. So that was probably the least bad of the movies and probably the least funny, though it had some good, you know, stupid scenes in it, really enjoyable. So I'm loving these movies. I was hyped, friggin' hyped to see this film. I couldn't wait. I saw the midnight showing, alright? I went out there and nothing but girls and boyfriends that were dragged and they just looked so miserable. And it's like, that's the perfect crowd to see this shit with. Sit down, the movie begins. And it's just like the first one. I'm enjoying it so much. The dialogue is horrendous. The things they're talking about are horrendous. It's so unrealistic. It's so playing to girls, you know, emotions and manipulating it however they want, you know, just the teenage impressionable mind. Loving it. Okay, now let's talk about some of the things that this movie wants to partake in. Okay, well, we have marriage. Great. I love to see Twilight fuck that up, and they do. We have sex. Vampire sex! Vampire teenage human sex! And it's great. It's so stupid. It's so over the wonderful. Love it, love it, love it. Abortion. Huh? I'm gonna repeat that. Twilight is going to talk to us about abortion. Twilight! Fucking Okay, let me give you an idea of the weight of this word, okay? I mean, not even just the issue, just the fucking word. You say that word, I saw Lewis Black recently, and he described it as, he brought it up in his stand-up, he said, just saying that word has clinched everybody's asshole in the audience up. Everybody tightens when they hear that word. That's how hot a subject issue it is, okay? I mean, it's like, you don't fuck around with this, okay? Or if you're gonna talk about it, you better goddamn know what you're talking about, okay? The only people that really talk about it are either people who really know what they're talking about, let me put it this way, people who should be talking about are either people who really know what they're talking about, or they're using it as a joke to show that they don't know what they're talking about. Because I make jokes about abortion, you know, I've made several. But the idea is to show that, you know, the character is a moron, or using it as an analogy, you know, to press a button for shock value, you know. But it's, you know, we're not really going to talk about it. This is Twilight trying to talk seriously about the issue of abortion. Because as I'm not giving anything away here, this is in the trailers, Bella gets pregnant. And they really talk, I shouldn't say really, they just sort of throw this shit at you about whether or not they should keep it. And in fact, it's not even a discussion. Okay. This was my hot button with this movie, okay? And this is when I said, this film is sick. This is a disgusting, sick, despicable movie. But I should talk about it in order. Okay, so I'll just go... That's the only way you can really talk about it. I'll try not to give away the ending or anything like that. But, okay, so it starts out literally with the wedding. And my favorite scene in the whole movie is just when Jacob sees the invitation to the wedding, just off goes the shirt and he just runs. 1 second, he takes that shirt off. I love it. But oddly enough, he keeps it on the rest of the movie. I found that very interesting. Maybe the complaints were finally, you know, too much for them. But he takes it off in the first minute. So what's the point? What's the point of him even wearing anything? So, okay, so they're getting married, Edward and Bella. Bella, even on her goddamn wedding day, never smiles. I mean, unbelievable. This broad, this unbelievable, but you come to expect that. That's fine. That's what I laugh at. That's what I enjoy. Edward's there with this really weird, uncomfortable smile, like, you know, whatever he's got going. I feel so sorry for these kids. I get the feeling they really want to do well, they want to act well and stuff, but they're not given the right people to... Hopefully they can have good careers after this and they can act well and stuff like that. Cause, yeah, they're young. Come on, give them a break. Okay, so they get married. Then we have Edward takes Bella in the middle of the wedding, just, you know, just somewhere secluded, because, you know, you can always get away from people in a wedding when you're the couple, of course, we all know that. And he goes off, he says, I have a special surprise for you. And it's Jacob! And Jacob is there, and he's smiling, he's like, hello, Bella, and stuff like that. This is a happy moment. This is a positive surprise. This was the boy that I think you kissed in front of Edward. You've openly admitted you have the hots for, and even though you're marrying Edward, you're just like, yeah, but I still like him, just throwing it out there. Edward sets this up, makes no sense at all, and everybody's happy. She's got a flight with Dad, and she wants him, and you bring him to the wedding. So that happens, and it makes no sense. Okay, but then Jacob, you know, is there. He's on good terms. He's like, okay, I'm here. Whatever, I'm gonna be the good supportive boyfriend because or, you know, whatever, not boyfriend because I'm the only decent character in this movie, but I can't get a clue. I should fucking get over you. So, you know, and Edward, I forget how it comes up, but Edward somehow drops that, you know, he's gonna get with her before he turns her into a vampire, because for whatever reason, I guess she wants to enjoy her time as a human a little bit more. I don't know, for whatever reason, she doesn't want to be a vampire yet. And he's going to make love to her on the honeymoon. Jacob's like, are you kidding? You'll kill her! You'll destroy her! What are you, nuts? What are you, blah, blah, blah? And I'm kind of thinking, really? Well, yeah, why is he doing this then? If he's really gonna physically hurt her and stuff like that, you know? Because it's what they want. It's what they want. And I think he's also concerned about what could come from it, and, you know, which we'll get into. But, of course, they're in love, and that means you gotta bonk each other's brains out without protection! Without protection! You dumb parasitic! What is wrong with you? I can't not... Okay. And then they're shocked. Shocked! When she gets they're asking, is this possible? Is this Did you go to school? Did you look at the board when they were doing sex education, or were you just too busy looking at each other going, I'm tortured, I'm tortured, I'm tortured, I'm tortured, we should, make out and make love because we're in love. I'm sorry, see, I'm getting home. Okay. So, they go on their honeymoon. Sex is fucking nuts, apparently. Like, he keeps breaking the bed. They keep going through beds. The rooms are always destroyed. There's feathers. Like, I'm not making this up. Like, the pillars are always broken, and there's feathers from the pillows flying down and stuff like that. It's like out of a comedy. This is like a satire of Twilight, and it's in the movie. And there's bruises on her and stuff like that. Okay, so he's like, I'm sorry, I'll never again, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, I like you, it's okay, it's okay. Of course it's okay, you get bruises from sex. You know what, it figures. I figured she'd be into that. You know what, the stupid little fucked up broad, she probably convinced herself that she's like a masochist or something like that. No, I like to cut myself, really. I like bruises because I'm pained, So that's going on. And this is just the typical fun, dumb shit that I love from Twilight. I'm loving it. And everything is just totally falling the way, just what I've wanted to see from a Twilight movie. And then she gets pregnant. And impossible. How is it fucking impossible? You had sex without protection? Unless there's something I'm missing. Unless there's some aspect that was in the movies that I just missed. Like, vampires can't get humans pregnant. Was that in there? Did I miss that? If it's in there, they didn't make that very clear, okay? Okay, so he gets her pregnant. They're going, is this possible? Is this, to get pregnant? First of all, this can't be the first time in all the years, because Edward's been alive for like centuries and stuff, this can't be the first time that not just him, but any vampire has ever slept with a human and has knocked her up. It's impossible. Okay, knowing the human race, the human animal, the human species, it's not fucking possible. This can't be the first time, and they can't be this, just benign, naive to it. They have to know something, but no, they have to look up legends about what happens when a vampire makes it with a fucking legends. How about documents? How about history? How about, doesn't anyone write this shit down? This can't be the first time. It just can't. Okay, so that's going on. Then you got Edward finds out, and she's puking, she's eating the peanut butter with the chicken, whatever pregnant women do. And he immediately, immediately is like, and they bring in whatever, the wise Hispanic woman. Yeah, again, doing the paranormal activity, right? I just can't believe they're doing this cliche where the Hispanic woman comes in and just looks at it, and of course Bella's like, don't you want to get a doctor or something? And he's just like, no, I trust her ways. I trust her she knows the legends. Get a fucking doctor! Are there any vampire doctors in this world you created? So they go... the Hispanic woman goes, just puts her hand on her stomach and just says, the Spanish equivalent of death, and just please. Okay, so Edward, being the ever supportive Edward, looks at Bella and says, don't worry, we'll get that abomination out of you. The fuck? What? Did he really just say that? We're gonna get this abomination out of you. We're gonna get this thing. He calls it a thing. He keeps calling it it. We're gonna get it out of you. And he looks pissed. He's like, God damn, we're gonna get it out of you. We're gonna take that right out and blah, blah, blah. Like somehow it's her fault. It takes two, dumbass. I'm sorry. Again, I know you didn't know she could get pregnant when you make whoopee, but you're just as big a part of it. And it's just as big your creation. You fucking idiot. So, okay, so he doesn't even consult her. Like she has a choice in this at all. Okay, we'll get it. Don't worry, it'll be gone. Don't worry, we'll destroy that little demon inside of you. These are words they're using. They're saying demon. They're saying, little monster. They're saying... Okay. Twilight gets this really well-deserved, rap for not being very empowering to women, particularly girls, like teenage girls. Well, yeah, this goes without saying. This is the first time I really felt that this was insulting to men, okay? This is just like a woman who has no idea and just thinks of the worst thing a guy could say when she's pregnant. And here's the thing. I'm sure there's some guys out there too. I'm sure there's some horrible guys that really say this shit. This is supposed to be our main character. This is supposed to be the guy we identify with, that we are on board with. This is the guy that she wants to marry, that all the girls want to marry. Oh, Edward, he's so supportive, he sparkles. And he's saying this horrible, horrible stuff. And he never consults her. He never asks her. And I'm sure the understanding is that, well, first of all, they think that it's going to kill her. That the pregnancy is going to be too much for her to handle, and that it's going to destroy her. And that's the reasoning behind it, I should make clear. But whatever side of the abortion argument you're on, you fucking talk about it, okay? You don't just say, Dad! You really talk about this shit, especially the person that's carrying the fucking thing. And he's just like, no, we're gonna get it out. We're gonna blah, blah, blah. It's gone. It's dead. Just don't even worry about it. It's just, that's it. And she, of course, for once killing a brain cell and saying maybe Edward isn't right about something, says, no, I want to keep it. I want to keep this child. I want to give birth. To which everyone is like, no, you can't. It's gonna kill you. It's gonna kill you. For which every guy in the audience is going, yay, kill the bitch. And Edward is actually saying, if you go through with this pregnancy, I'm not gonna be here. I can't watch it. I can't be around you when you're doing it. Oh, what a selfish thing to do. This is the one goddamn time that Bella is actually doing anything resembling a human being, okay? She was the real monster in these other movies, okay? The vampire and the werewolves, no. She was the creature from the Black Lagoon that sucked everybody's blood. And of course, the one time she wants to do something out of love, like legitimate love and responsibility, something even sacrificing her life and stuff like that, everybody's telling her that she's fucking nuts. Especially Edward. Especially the guy that all the girls are supposed to have the hots for. The guy that they're supposed to get, and I'm sure the understanding is that, well, he didn't know any better. He was just emotional and stuff like that. Fuck that shit. That is a horrible person. Okay, especially this young and doing this stuff, and Twilight thinks it has the ability to talk about this stuff, and it doesn't. This is like in the Captain Planet review when they're going to talk about AIDS, and I had a little caption, I had all these warnings, and one of them said, you're not talented enough, you're not as smart as you think. And that was very much this. Do you know your audience, Twilight? Do you have any idea who's reading your shit and who's watching your dumbass movies? It's teenage girls. And here's the thing, with the other movies, yeah, she's a horrible role model and these males don't exist. But it's the fact that any girl that would be, oh, I want to be like Bella, I just want no responsibility and I want men to do everything for me and blah, blah, blah. Most girls go through that phase, and most girls are, reality hits. It hits them pretty quick. And most of them are too cowardly to go run off to get married and to actually be like, well, I'm going to do it because Twilight did it. Most are not, they're stupid enough, but they're not brave enough to do it. So I always thought the stuff from Twilight, because everyone was saying it's totally destroying the fabric of the female mind, the young female mind. I don't think it is. I don't think it's good for it, but I don't think it's like destroying it. I don't think it's any threat at all, because it's the equivalent of like Disney princesses or something. Yeah, I don't like the stereotype, but it's not destroying anything, I don't think. It's playing to what girls like, and then whatever, responsible parents or society, whatever, tells them, hey, this is a fairy tale. And that's the thing, it's a fairy tale. That's what Twilight really is. It's a horribly written fairy tale, marketed at girls, and it's really successful. But now you're throwing this very adult, very complicated issue in that even today, nobody has a clear answer on, at all. I mean, you know, people say, I have a clear answer, this is always right, or this is always wrong, stuff like that. We don't. We really don't. And we're still talking about it, and we're still trying to figure it out. You think you have the answers. You think you know what's right. Twilight knows what's right when it comes to abortion. Twilight is going to lecture us on fucking abortion! And like I said, it's the first time, I think, as a male that I felt offended. I felt like you are doing men a disservice, okay? It's the first time I've ever felt that with, like, anything. Because, you know what? As a white male, I won't lie, we've had it pretty good, okay? I'm not gonna act like, you know, oh, hey, think about us, the poor white man. It's like, no, history and everything, we've been doing okay, you know, and I'm not gonna complain. But this is the one time. I mean, this is where girls are gonna watch this. We're gonna take this really serious issue, and we're going to say, this is the stuff you're gonna go through, and this is how you should act, and this is how the men are going to act, and this is what they're going to do to you, and this is what they're gonna tell you, and stuff like that. Fuck you, movie. Fuck you. I am so offended by this film. I am just... And the funny thing, the abortion issue is not even... I don't want to say it's like the main focus. It's one of them, but it's not the main focus. The main focus, of course, is the dumbass love triangle, or, you know, or Jacob, this boy is putting his life on the line. He's abandoning his tribe. He's abandoning his pack. Again, he's being the good guy. He's really, you know... He's really putting shit on the line, and he's making sacrifices for this dumbass girl, and even half the time she's like, you know, oh, I trust you, you know, I say things to you I wouldn't say to Edward. Why didn't you fucking marry him? And see what this movie's doing to me, oh my god. I haven't gotten this emotional about a film in a long time. I mean, at least not in a negative state. This really is my Transformers 2. Because I didn't like Transformers 2, but it didn't hurt me like it did so many other people. Like, a lot of people got hurt by Transformers 2. It was that bad. This is mine. And I have no idea if I'm alone on this, or if people are just going to say I'm over-exaggerating or over-reading it or something like that. I very well could be, but I just felt just disgusting watching this. I just really felt uncomfortable. And let me tell you, I mean, without giving away anything too much with the issue, the abortion issue in this movie, knowing the overtones to a certain religion that, you know, that this movie really likes to play to, or at least thinks it's playing to, you can probably guess where they're gonna go with it. And the funny thing is that in another story, if there was talent behind this, this could have been a uniquely touching, beautiful story about a young woman who does not want to give up her child. It may cost her her life, but she made, you know, this commitment, and she wants to risk it. She wants to take the responsibility. It's like, and that would bring up the issues. Well, wait, is that right, or is it right to save the mother? Is it right to save the child, or blah, blah, blah? You can really talk about this. But it's not. It's Twilight. Twi-fucking-light. They don't know what they're talking about. You have to know. You don't know what you're talking about. It's like that guy with the glasses.com, all the people, off to do Hamlet. Okay, we don't go there. We know we're not good enough. It's like Adam Sandler doing a Holocaust movie. No, he makes dumb movies, but he doesn't make dumb mistakes. They're calculated. They know the audience. They know what they are. Twilight, your shit. Stay to shit. Stay to manipulating girls in their little fairy tale land. You're bringing this in. Abortion. You're bringing abortion into this. And my phone is ringing. I don't care. I'm not going to answer it. I don't care who it is at all. No, I have to finish this. We end with, you know, like a C-section. That's great. Again, just adding to the fairy tale aspect, happily ever after. You know, and it's really, without showing too much, I think they show quite a bit for a PG-13, it's really grisly, and they have these sound effects, and they have the blood splurting, her like, oh, 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 and, you know, and these crunching sound effects, and, you know, the knife, and, you know, from her point of view, of them doing her, oh no, oh no, oh no, and you're really doing this. You're doing this. I just felt despicable watching it. I just felt dirty watching this movie. I was ashamed to be in that theater watching this, thinking that this movie had any brains at all. I thought it had some brains, you know. I thought because it knew how to manipulate, you know, the young female demographic. It did very well and very profitable. But this is a whole new area. And if you're going to talk about, you better do your fucking homework. You better have some idea what you're talking about. And Twilight obviously doesn't. And it shows in this movie. And okay. I told you this would be long. So, in terms of the movie itself and like just the plot and the stuff that really pissed me off, I think that's the gist of it, except for the fact that once again Jacob gets screwed, and I don't get that. He's the only decent character throughout this movie, and he keeps getting crapped on about. I'm repeating myself now. Okay, so, this is the part where I have to say who would like it and who would not like it. Because let me tell you, when the movie was done, there was applause. All the teenage girls, yay! It understands me! Look at you. Don't make me pity this demographic anymore. You've already made it so tough showing that, you know, Twilight, that you respect Twilight. And to say, yeah, that was good. Okay, again, this is the real cynical asshole in me coming out. This is going against what I say where, you know, movies can be anything to anyone, you know, and they can represent something. It just, for me, I think, for my values and my ethics, it hurt me so bad that it just really fueled some anger in me. I mean, just some real hatred. So, in all honesty, I should talk about who should like this movie. Let's talk about why did, you know, a lot of teenage girls like this movie. Because actually, I heard that a lot of people, even fans of the book, didn't like this book, apparently. Which doesn't shock me at all. But I think the reason they like it, because actually I went with someone who liked it. And said, oh yeah, I enjoyed it. And she doesn't like Bella and stuff, but, you know, she likes her some Jacob. You know, I mean, she just finds the boys hot. So, and I wasn't going to be a dick. I wasn't going to be like, what's wrong with you? You know, I just said, if you like, that's awesome. What'd you like about it? What'd you like? Oh, I like the werewolves. I like the, you know, I like the fighting. I like, you know, the little drama. And, yeah, Bella, I mean, she didn't smile at her wedding? Well, that was weird. But, yeah, I like seeing, you know, the fight. And I like, will she have the baby and stuff like that. So, my hope with this movie is that the people who don't like it are probably going to not like it for the same reason they either don't like the other Twilight movies or the reason I don't like this Twilight movie. The people who like it, my hope is that they're still wrapped up in the fairy tale aspect, and these really sick, disturbing issues are just not going to hit. In that, they shouldn't hit. Because, again, this movie doesn't know what it's talking about. And I'm really hoping that just it's flying over their heads and they're not like, yeah, that got me thinking about abortion, that got me thinking about choices, that got me thinking about, you know, the Twilight choices, that is, you know, and, okay, just as I said before, it's not like abortion shouldn't be talked about. It should. And it's not like we should just always ignore it. No, we should acknowledge it. We should really confront this stuff, and we should bring up our arguments for either side, or if you've even chosen a side or whatever, and it should be discussed. You know, or ethically, or physically, or legally, or whatever. I'm not against that. I'm against idiots talking about it. I'm against them talking about like they know, like they understand, like they have the responsibility and the talent to bring this subject matter to you. And it's just, they're so full of themselves on that. And they're just, I don't think this stuff is going to register to the people who like it. Which is not to say I would recommend it to anyone. I wouldn't recommend it to a dog. But at the same time, I think the people who do enjoy this, it's not going to hit them straight in the face. They're not going to think about, you know, abortions or the issues that they're trying to bring up. So, and like I said, this could very well just be me. Maybe nobody else is thinking about this. I mean, maybe people are just laughing at it like they laugh at the other Twilight movies, or maybe all the teenage girls are getting into it just like they got into the other ones for the same reasons. Just the romance, oh, Edward, you know, you make mistakes, but I still love you. Oh, Jacob, why don't you go with Jacob? Whatever they talk about. So, like I said, if you like the other Twilight movies, there's a much stronger risk that you won't like this movie because it does just get so grisly and so bloody and so unpleasant. But maybe, I think for a lot of girls, like, that just sucks them more into the drama, the quote-unquote drama. So maybe you'll like that. I would just definitely advise not taking these issues they're talking about in a sense that they know what they're talking about. Because it is Twilight. You're gonna look back years later and you're gonna laugh. You're gonna really, you know, it's gonna be like when we look back at Saved by the Bell. At the time, it was like, wow, this is high school, and now we're like, oh, we thought that was high school. It's going to be the same thing. I mean, whether you realize it or not. Well, now I'm being really snobby. I'm saying what you're going to think. But it's very likely that would happen. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not going to say you're a moron if, you know, if you don't do that. Whatever you like, you like. You know, and you have your own reasons. People who wouldn't like it, I think... Do I really have to say? People with penises are not going to like it. Which is not to say everyone with a vagina will like it, but certainly people in the tween age, you know, bordering teenage years with a vagina will most likely like it. If you don't like the other Twilight movies, like you really hate it, you're gonna really hate this one. You're gonna really despise it. In terms of making fun of it, there's definitely stuff to make fun of. But like I said, and maybe people will just enjoy the fact that Twilight is trying to talk about this, and that they really think they know what they're talking about. Isn't this great? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, me personally, I can't quite get on board with that. I just think this is such a hot-button topic. And maybe it is like an exploitation film. So even exploitation films, you going in, you know you're going to see, if they're going to try and push your buttons. This really thinks it's saying something to you. And that it's dealing with an issue like, oh yeah, we're going to be brave enough to go there. It's not bravery. It's not. Bravery is really understanding the issue before you say a goddamn thing about it. And you don't. You do not, movie. So, okay. I've gotten so emotional about this movie. Like I said, this really, really pissed me off. Hopefully from this review, I'm sorry if I really went on a rant here, but it just, as you can tell, it really hit a button with me, and I found it so revolting. And if you see something beautiful in it, I'd love to hear why. And I'm not going to say you're wrong. I would love to honestly hear why. And how you got that out of this. Because I did actually enjoy talking to the person I went with. I was asking her, you know, what did you like about it? And it was a very simple response. And my guess is that for most people it's going to be a simple response. So maybe it's not as bad as I'm making it out. But it just from an adult standpoint, this was, you know, really a disgusting, disgusting film. But what do I really think you're asking? I think I've gone on long enough. I don't know how long this has been. I sort of went to my own zone. So like I said, this is probably longer than you expect. I'm probably going to encourage so many people to go see this movie now, because they're like, good God, I have to see what the fuck he's talking about. Ironically, I'm not trying to tell people not, you know, how horrendous it is, and people that they just got to see it. So, and I'll say this before I sign out. Like I said, I may be, you know, reading too much into it. I'm not denying that. Maybe nobody would think of these issues at all. Maybe I'm the only one. Maybe me and a few other people, and you know, we take it really to heart. But that's what it did for me. And my guess would be even fans of Twilight would have a harder time with this one, because it does get so grisly and so grim and bloody and really tackling just some unpleasant issues in the way that Twilight handles it. So there it is, man. I think I've rambled on long enough. This might be one of the few times where the regular review is funnier than the bum review. Okay, so guys, take care. I hope you can come to your own decision whether or not you want to see this movie. Thanks for watching. Later.